spots for wheelchairs?
So, I'm sorry.
Do you have any spots for wheelchairs?
No. I think you can make yourself comfortable. How about that? Whatever you want.
Why was it doing that?
Good morning. It's nice to have you all here today. My name is Suzanne DeWeese, and on behalf of the pastors and our Board of Trustees, I welcome you to Colby Temple for our Sunday service. So to begin, Mary Carr will be lighting our candles, and they represent the unity of body, mind, spirit. Thank you, Mary. Please rise if you're able for the invocation and remain standing for our first hymn. Infinite light, beloved God, we are thankful for this day that you have given us, for the blessings, for the opportunities. We pray for strength and guidance for this day as it comes. May we be challenged to be our best always, and may we be assured of your presence with us in our hearts. And with this we say, amen. Please remain standing. Our hymn is on page 155 in the garden. Please be seated. Our declaration of principles are located in a handout and also in your book. Please join me in reciting these principles together. We believe in infinite intelligence. We believe that the phenomena of nature, both physical and spiritual, are expression of infinite intelligence. We affirm that a correct understanding of such expression and living in accordance therewith constitute true religion. We affirm that the existence and personal identity of the individual continue after the change called death. We affirm that communication with the so-called dead is a fact, scientifically proven by the phenomena of spiritualism. We believe that the highest morality is contained in the Golden Rule. Whatsoever ye would that others should do unto you, do ye also unto them. We affirm the moral responsibility of the individual, and that he makes his own happiness or unhappiness as he obeys or disobeys nature's physical and spiritual laws. We affirm that the doorway to reformation is never closed against any human soul here or hereafter. We affirm that the precepts of prophecy and healing contained in the Bible are divine attributes proven through mediumship. Now, please go to the handout and recite with me the healing prayer. The prayer for spiritual healing. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body, and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help, and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. We will now have healing, and anyone who would like a healing can go to this side to wait for a healing bench to be made available. And I'll be leading us through a meditation at this time. If you're comfortable, you can just put your papers aside. Just allow your hands to rest comfortably in your lap. And know that this is a time of grace to meditate. That it's always an inward pull of our being to meditate. So we choose to let go of that which is in the external world, that which might need changing or fixing. So there's no next within you. You're able to rest during this time in a simple present of your own being. And we may start with a few breaths to help us turn the spotlight inwards. And that breath can be down deep in the low belly, or it can be under the clavicles, the collarbones, wherever your breath descends. Allow it to descend down into the body. And the breath exhales and lets go of anything you don't need in this moment. You don't need anything outside of you. You don't need another person to talk to. You don't need to do anything on the exhale. And when we breathe in, we're breathing in the light of the universe. We're breathing in this infinite intelligence that is always protecting us, always gracing us with an inward knowing that I am. Nothing needs to be attached to the I am. Simply, I am. Breathing in and breathing out. The calm descends as grace when we just let the breath carry us like a river into our being. Thoughts will come and they will go like clouds in the sky. And there's no need to think any thoughts when they come and they go. For just now, you're resting and abiding in the presence of your being, the magnificent, precious light of your being. You're breathing in and breathing out. There's attention given to relaxing. You're actually giving yourself permission to relax. Good. Sometimes we're hypervigilant. So that hypervigilance can just go down into the belly with your breath. There's this light surrounding each one of you. There is protection and loved ones and guides surrounding each and every one of you. Those ancestors, those guides, those loved ones are comforting you right now. You're being taken care of right now. There's no effort. Here in Colby Temple, there's no efforting needed. Your guides come to you, loved ones surround you. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Just not needing or wanting. Your own light of your being is fullness, beauty, and love. Rest in that love. There's no next. There's only this moment. Abide in your simple being. Rest in your simple I am. The soul pulls us inwards. Our guides and our loved ones support that. The light around you and the light within you merge. And you mingle with this divine light of your being and your loved ones. I am peaceful. I am peaceful. I am whole and complete. I am whole and complete in my being. My precious light, my light being that I am. Know that this is your peace. This is the nature of your being, peace and love. Share for a moment this peace when you confirm this is who you are, and then send that out to everyone in the room, share your peace and share your love. It's wordless. There are no words for peace or love. And share that love and peace with your family wherever they are, whatever the circumstances. And send that light of your being to the world where peace and love are needed. And now breathing into this moment here, again, embodied in your chair in Colby Temple, feeling a willingness to transition to an outward consciousness, looking out, and bring with you all of that strength within you that you found in your light. We'll just close the healing. Just repeat to yourself, I am peaceful. I am light. And then you can gradually open your eyes when you're comfortable. Thank you. I'd like to thank our healers, who is Lori Carter, Jackie Arnold, Darlene McCormick, and Coquette Cruz. Thank you. If you know that you have received a healing, physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, I can go on and on, healing has many levels, you could fill out one of these cards, they're in the back table, and it just affirms for the healer that their work was received and that you allowed healing to occur. So thank you. Our next hymn will be on the back of the hymnal, How Great Thou Art, if you would stand if you're able. How great thou art.
Wonder
Please be seated. I would just like to mention the rolling thunder. Anybody hear all that last night? And the light show? It's a pretty big deal. How great thou art. So I'd like to introduce our guest speaker today. I'm very happy to introduce Jeremy McDonald. He gave a workshop yesterday. Anybody here get that workshop? Okay, so good. Great, thank you. So he did a workshop on storytelling alchemy, and he is a storytelling alchemist that delivers in his storytelling education, inspiration, and ding ding entertainment. That's what he likes. So Jeremy has working towards his MA in education. He has a published book called Peace, Be Still. He's working on a second book. He has a Spirit Heart Cruise in the works. So he'll be doing his storytelling and alchemy out at sea, which sounds good. He's also a holistic coach. He's an energy healer, certainly a motivational speaker, and as you will hear, his focus is to help people find empowerment in their lives. So I do welcome Jeremy, and let's give him a nice warm applause. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. So, one of the things I'm going to be talking about is saying things with conviction and energy. So, I teach salespeople during the week. So, salespeople usually, if they're successful, say things with conviction. Am I correct? Yeah. So I'm going to say good morning one more time. But I want you to do it with gusto. You don't have to yell. It's not about yelling. It's about saying it with power through your throat chakra. Everybody feel me? Okay. Good morning, Casadega. Good morning. You feel the difference? Okay. So the reason why I wanted to do that this morning is because I was reading on Facebook, somebody posted a meme, and I really aligned with this meme. Sometimes Facebook can be not all about drama. Sometimes it can actually have some valuable information on there. That, and we get to see our family's pictures and stuff like that. So, but what this said is, it said we were not built with knees to kneel before God. We were built to have legs to walk in communion with Spirit and talk with Spirit, with our hearts aligned with Spirit. Does everybody feel that? Yes. Now, I'm not to say there is some reverence to kneeling. I'm not going to put that, but it's not, what it's about is not begging for acceptance from a God. It's walking in communion with the Spirit and the God and divine within you. Everybody feel the difference? Yes. And that's what we're looking for, is we're feeling. This is about energy. It's about understanding the energy that's coming from you and the conviction that comes from you. And it's interesting because I'm sure all of us was raised in a different church. Am I correct? Well, maybe some of us was raised spiritualist. Okay? My church taught that women shouldn't wear dresses below their knees, shouldn't wear makeup. They had to wear stockings in Florida. I can feel all the women in the room. During the summer. So they taught all this stuff, and they didn't just teach it. They told, as I was hearing earlier, and there was the Lyceum, the speaker that was speaking earlier. And so what that really taught me is that wasn't about walking in communion with Spirit. That was about being obedient. And that's not what that doesn't empower us as people, as spiritual beings, because we are spiritual beings having what? A human experience, right? We came here intentionally to this existence to understand more about ourselves as a soul, as body, mind, and spirit. We came here for a reason. You made a decision to come here as a spirit in alignment with your spiritual guides, with the divine within you, and you came here for that reason. Can everybody feel that? And that's what's powerful. That's what's empowering. And I want everybody to feel that moment, because I want everybody just to take just for a second. This is not necessarily a meditation, but I'm going to guide you through connecting your energy, grounding, balancing it, and connecting to source. And what I want you to do is, everybody familiar with their chakras? It's okay if you're not, because I'm going to tell you what to do. So So I want you to pretend you have to be a kindergartner with me just for a second, because kindergartners throw away all of their stuff and they can feel this, and they play with me. So we're all 5 years old right now. Everybody with me? All right. So I want you to pretend energy and source is piling and just pouring beautiful energy down through your crown, and it is flowing through your body with all the magnificence and glory and love of the divine and source. It's replenishing your body and your existence and giving you tremendous amounts of energy, and it's flowing through you. And any amount of tension that you have in your body, with intention, that tension is starting to liquefy and go into peace and harmony with the rest of your body. And then I want you to feel it going all the way down into the ground, all the way down into the core of the earth, and you feel it connecting to the earth. And then green energy starts to come up from the earth and starts to ground you and comes into your body all the way up to your crown, going out your crown. So now you have both energies flowing through your body, replenishing you, keeping you grounded, keeping you focused, keeping you balanced. And I want you to bring those energies into the heart. They're going to connect in the heart. And then I want you to say, not with your mouth, but inside, internally. I want you to say, with conviction, like you said, good morning earlier, I want you to say, balance. And then you feel the energy explode out of your body. And it takes over this entire church, and you give healing, and you go into oneness with everybody in this room. You can feel their hearts. You can feel the peace. You can feel the love and abundance. And when you start to feel that, when you start to feel in sync, you can just raise your hand just ever so slightly. You don't have to do it, just to let me know that you guys are feeling it. All right. Feels good, doesn't it? Do you know what you did differently there? You said with conviction, balance. You said with conviction, not demanding, not being rude. You said with conviction to the universe, I want to be in balance and harmony with you in all things. I want to be in sync with you in all things at all times. And I want to be in balance with spirit and energy and nature at all times. You said that with authority. Not with being rude, not with yelling or screaming. You said it with conviction. Does that make sense? And so it's really interesting. Who feels pain in here? Who has pain in their body? Well, maybe not right now, but a lot of times. So you can remember this energy right here. Has your pain reduced since you're in balance right now? Okay? So the interesting part about that is that you can remember this energy. So now what I want you to do is say in your mind, in your heart, in your body, I want you, not with your mouth, but internally, I want you to say, remember. Why are you doing that? Because you're saying to your body, when I need this at the most opportune time, when I'm in pain, when I'm in anxiety, when somebody cuts me off in traffic, when somebody in my family hurts my feelings, you can say, remember. And with conviction, and what it does is it brings this energy back in. You're training your body, mind, and soul to bring back in the energy of healing that you had in this space in Casadega. Because you may be in England or in California, and you can't always fly back to Casadega. Make sense? Because this energy is always here with you. You are this energy. You are the one that's building this energy with spirit and the divine. And so that's the interesting part. We've been taught to be separate from this energy. We've been taught to be not a part of this. We've been taught when we were in those other religions that we had to go to a pastor to connect with spirit. That's the only way to talk to God. Hence the reason why the spiritualist movement came around. Thank you, spiritualist movement, because it taught that we can what? Connect to spirit. That we can talk to spirit. And thank you for places like Casadega that helps us connect with spirit. The blessings that we have here and with the people that do their work here. Let's be grateful. Let's feel that we're in this space. Let's feel that gratitude. Because being grateful, how many people go throughout your day thanking things all the time? Feels different, doesn't it? Did you ever have a time in your life when you were complaining all the time? There's this thing where you can buy a bracelet and you have to move it from one hand to the next every time you complain throughout the day. And my cousin bought it, and she started laughing because she says I broke it because I moved it so many times. And so, but how amazing does that help you be self-aware? And the reason why I bring up that point is that years ago, when the movie The Secret came out and they started talking about gratitude, I actually thought, well, I'm a pretty grateful person. Yeah, I'm pretty grateful. And then I started trying to write down the things I was grateful about every day. Just 10 items, just 10. And I couldn't do it. I couldn't get past 5. Because it was all about what I didn't have and how angry I was for the things that God wasn't giving me. How dare he put me in this situation? Can anybody relate to that? And because we've been programmed to say that we don't have enough and we have abundance. In the time that there was no toilet paper a couple of years ago, everybody remember that? Yeah. Somehow, miraculously, I got about 6 packets of toilet paper, and I found a store. I just said to Spirit, I said, you're going to take me where I need to go, and I'll know where to go in order to find what I need. And that's what I want to give you guys today. I want you to give this. This is what Spirit's given me recently. I will, and you can say this with me or you don't. I'm going to say it a few times before the end of my talk. But this is what I say now when I start getting into anxiety or worrying if I'm going to have enough or if I'm going to be in the right place. I say, I will know where to be when I need to be there. I will know what to say when I need to say it. And I will know what to do when I need to do it. And if it's connection to my spirit guides, I'll say to them, I know the relationship we have is so powerful and so loving and so connected that you will guide me perfectly. And I'll know how to hear you when I need to hear you. So now it's less about, we have to play opposites now. This is what it's all about, play opposites. Because can anybody relate to, well, I don't know when my spirit guides are talking to me. I'm not sure. How do I know it's not me over them? Can anybody relate to that? Okay, well, you just connected with them. So you're connected with them. And so it's the doubt, the feelings of doubt that is blocking you from hearing them. And we're looking for like some kind of audible voice inside of us. And yeah. And sometimes there's a feeling you get like I need to go and get a reading from a medium. And that's okay too. Because that's why we have mediums in the world that can help us connect with spirit. And yes, we are all mediums, and yes, we can all be trained to do that. And we all have, also some of us were born because we practiced it many times in different lifetimes. Does that make sense? So we're stronger coming into this lifetime because we chose to come into this lifetime and do that work. So what you can start doing is you'll tell me where I need to be and where I need to be at any time. So it may be one day you're in Casadega and you get a reading from a medium. Or you come to church and you get a message and it's exactly what you need to hear. How many here has that happened to before? You're here at the right and perfect time and you get the message that just literally hits you in the heart. And you're like, that's exactly what I needed. How many's watched a television show and you're watching this television and you feel like Spirit's talking to you? Am I the only one that's crazy? Okay. So the universe is talking to you at all times. Literally, it's sending out smoke signals. It is sending out flags. It's like, I'm right over here. Because has anybody heard of angel numbers? 333-111-222-555. Can everybody relate to this? Okay. Nobody can relate to it? You don't see 111 all the time? Every day? Yeah. Anybody ever see an animal walk across their path and they're like, that was just not normal behavior with that kind of animal? Like a deer at the Summerlin house. Every time I come here, I see the deers. But this time, this little baby deer stops and looks at me and Daniela and sits there and watches us. So he could have been sitting there and saying, "What are you doing at my house?" But I think there was a connection because that is animal medicine. There's a book called Animal Speak by a guy named Ted Andrews. Everybody know what that book is? They have it at the bookstore up here. But I'm telling you about this because when those things like this happen, and I'll tell you a really quick story that I love to tell. I was in meditation probably about 11 years ago, and I used to live on the Hillsborough River in Tampa. And these two dragonflies landed on the chair across from me, staring at me. And of course I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then they fly from the chair on my shoulders. Okay, but it gets better. They fly from my shoulders to the chair and start looking at me again. And you know what they did after that? They flew back and got on my shoulders. Then they finally flew off. And some people would say, well, it's a coincidence. I'm like, how many dragonflies do you know that land on your shoulder? Not once, but twice. Let's get rid of the coincidence stuff and start looking at this and looking up in the Animal Speak book, what does dragonflies mean? That's the universe talking to you. That's spirit talking to you. It's always trying to guide you. The universe and spirit is always trying to guide you because we are blessed. We are blessed. As you were saying earlier, you said the spirit was a spiritualist. We always have these signs that come up. As a spiritualist, we're open to those signs. And I thought that was the most beautiful statement because as we start to work in this work, we start opening ourselves up to the possibilities that there's something more than the five senses. But it's not enough to know it here in the brain. There's an 18-inch journey from the head to the heart. And when it connects to the heart, then we really start to feel it. So now I have you guys in this space where you're open and balanced. I want you to just intentionally take a deep breath in. This is not a meditation. Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale out, I want you to feel your heart energy opening up and filling everybody in this room. And I know some people are looking around, I don't feel that. That's okay. Because as you play with me like a 5-year-old, you're going to start opening up. Does that make sense? Because nothing opens up unless you try. Action creates momentum in the universe. Okay, so we have to allow our logical mind to start to relax. And everybody feel that heart energy? And if you don't, it's okay. Because I used to sit in a psychic development class for almost 15 years and wonder why everybody was getting all these profound messages. And I just had a very profound feeling because I didn't understand the difference. Because we allow other people's differences to block us, and then we do what? We judge ourselves. Am I correct? Okay, but we all have strengths within us. And find that strength, and find it with conviction and authority within yourself so you can start having a life of flourishing in abundance. Because abundance isn't about money. That's just energy. Just energy. But we've made all these things more powerful than us, than the spirits that are trying to guide us and take us on a path and a journey in our lives. So how many people ask for help from spirit when you get a problem? How many people in here can honestly say they do it every single time they have a problem? Yeah, I mean, I'm getting better. I'm not going to say I remember all the time, but I will tell you in the last 3 to 5 years, almost 90% of the time if I have a problem, and then generally very shortly after, the other 10% of the time I'm like, didn't ask. Because we get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger in this every time we practice. Charles Fillmore said that spirituality is not an instantaneous awakening, it is a lifelong process. So people will ask me, when did you have your awakening? Has anybody ever asked that question before? When did you start waking up? I'm like, well, starting waking up is a better phrase than when did you have your awakening? Because I've had probably about 7 major events in my life that have made me go, wow. And I've been doing this now since 1996. So that's I know some people have been doing it longer than me, but And I've had some major events, and they're called dark nights of the soul for me, because it was 6 to 7 events where literally everything fell apart in my life because I happened to be one of the most stubborn students, and my spirit guides are probably like, he's doing it again. So my mother used to have this keychain that says, never fly faster than your angels, never drive faster than your angels can fly. And I think I embody that actual thing, because I don't really drive that fast. I drive the speed limit. But I'm more like, my mind is moving so fast, and that other 10% of the time I'll be like, whoa, wait a second. Can anybody relate to that? I didn't ask for help. Well, the interesting thing about asking for help is, how can you get help from spirit or from the universe or from the divine if you don't ask? And the same people, and trust me, I was one for this. Somebody like, here's one thing, you go out to a restaurant and you pay for it on your credit card, and then people start handing you money for their food. How many of you in here feel weird about taking that money? Anybody? I know a lot of people in here are not raising their hands, but they really are not lying to themselves. Okay, I'm trying to demonstrate an idea of us not receiving, and one of the best ones is, you're at a restaurant, say you're with 4 or 5 friends, and they bring you one bill, and you give them your credit card, and then all your friends or family, whoever you're with, starts handing you cash or whatever for their portion of it. How many people in here feel weird and uncomfortable when they start handing you that money? Take the dang money. Do you want to know why? With their hearts, they know that there's an energy exchange, and the universe is about giving and receiving. So you're giving and they're giving back. And what ends up happening, who in here wants more abundance of health, money, whatever it is? Okay? Well, that is that story right there is you blocking abundance. And it's interesting because there's a joke, one of my favorite jokes in the world is this. So, man sitting on top of a roof of a house. And he's basically, he's kind of sitting there, and he's stuck because it's flooded around his house. So then there's a man that comes by in a canoe and says, hey, I can give you a ride, jump in. He says, no, God's going to help me. So then a man comes by in a speedboat, and he says, hey man, jump in. The water keeps on coming up. And he says, no, man, God's going to help me. So then a helicopter flies by, and come on, jump into the helicopter. No, God's going to help me. And then the water starts to take him over. He says, God, I thought you were going to help me. Well, I sent a canoe, a speedboat, and a helicopter. So this is what happens. The universe is always giving to us. It is always providing us with abundance. But because inside of ourselves we didn't start practicing this conviction of energy to ask and then receive and to give and to receive, the energy is not always flowing. Okay? And so what we built in here with that energy is you just start building the energy of love and compassion and peace. So I can guarantee you sometime today, something beautiful is going to happen to you. It could be the smallest little thing. It could be your child calling you and saying, I love you. It could be your significant other saying, I love you. It doesn't matter what it is. It's something, or somebody just says to you, you're very beautiful today. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Something magical is going to happen. Why? Because you just gave something beautiful. The universe will bring you back something, because it's about giving and receiving, and whatever we put out there, we bring back 100-fold. But what ends up happening is we put it out there, and then we're all like, nope. Everybody put their hands up. Everybody put their hands up real quick. What does that feel like? Tense, right? Now allow it in. Feel that. The energy is different. And what we're out there doing is we have 1 foot on the brake in your car and 1 foot on the gas. Where are we going? I want you to go outside today and you get your car, turn it on, put 1 foot on the brake and 1 foot on the gas. Where's your car going? Nowhere. And that's what happens. I have people that come to me all the time, and they're like, well, I don't understand why nothing's working for me. And then I start asking them questions about what's going on in their life, and they'll be telling me, I have this happen a lot. I mean, a lot, where people are telling, well, I'm saying yes to, they tell me stories about how they say yes to do things all the time. They're like, yeah, I'm always giving, and I'm always such a good and loving healer and loving person. I'm always giving, but I never get back. So I'll literally go through the scenarios with them, and I say, well, this scenario, did you want to say yes? Or do you want to say no? And of course, what do you think they do? Do you think they tell me yes or no? No, they give me their story. So that's why it's called storytelling alchemy. Then they'll start giving me all the reasons why they said yes, but they actually wanted to say what? No. Because there is such a thing in spirituality as called boundaries, right? And interesting enough, this is one of my greatest lessons. In 2008, one of my teachers passed away of stomach cancer. She was one of the most profound spiritualists and mediums I've ever met. And she died at 70, which I think is pretty young, considering I'm pushing 50 almost. So 20 years is not that long of a time. So, and so she said to me this one her final lesson to me. She said, I'm sick, and dis-ease happens in the body because you're not paying attention to what's going on in the body. And she said, you are a very gifted healer. She goes, but as much as you give out, you have to do what? Receive. So that energy of what I had you guys do, where I had you feel the energy flowing from your crown all the way down to the ground and grounding yourself, that was a very definite saying to the universe, as much as I give out there, I receive. As much energy as I give out, I receive energy. Because, interestingly enough, in Reiki, is it your energy that you're giving, or is it Source's energy that you're giving? Sources. And the first level of Reiki 1 is healer, heal who? Thyself. If you don't heal yourself, and I know we can all relate to this because if anybody that's a healer, you're sitting there, I wonder if it's working. Is it working? Is it working? When you're doing that, you're blocking the energy because it wasn't yours to decide. It's none of your business if it's working. It's between the divine and spirit and the person that's laying on your table or sitting in your chair. And when you start worrying about whether you're actually doing it or not, you're actually doing what? Trying to do it and blocking it. And that's what's interesting about even manifestation, and I'll wrap up here in just about another minute because I want to bring another point in. That's what happens with manifestation and anything we put out there. We immediately put intentions out there and we're like, oh, if this works out. Like this is interesting. My friend Daniela here gave me a reading last night. And one of the first things, in the reading, I said, part of it is I want to start traveling more. And meaning traveling and doing this work full time. And then I started, and she mentioned something about eventually you're going to leave the country and travel maybe around Europe. And I'm like, well, if I do that full time, what am I going to do with my car and my car payment? I started laughing because you have to laugh at yourself a little bit. Because that right there, do you think that was blocking energy? Yes, it was. You want to know why? Because if Spirit wants me to be in Europe, traveling around Europe, it's going to take care of the car payment. Does that make sense? And then somebody said, well, you have to make sure it's taken care of. Duh. So it's one of those things where you have to stop and laugh at yourself a little bit, because if Spirit and intention with us, if we're in communion, that's what the grounding is for. That's what the grounding is for. So you stay in the three-dimensional reality. I've just over the past, I used to be awful about paying my bills on time. I'm not going to lie to you, up until about 12 years ago. And what ended up happening, as I started to say, Spirit, you'll tell me when I need to start paying for things. And you'll tell me, you'll provide me with enough money to pay for whatever I need to have. And you'll tell me when I should buy something or not buy something. And if it's beyond my budget or not beyond my budget. And so, interesting enough, I literally get a voice in my head that says, hey, don't forget to pay the electric bill. Don't forget to pay your mortgage or your rent. And you have to pay attention to that. So I'll leave you with this thought. Remember, you'll know what you're supposed to say when you need to say it. You'll know where you need to be when you need to be there. And you'll know what to do when you need to do it. And say that with conviction and in communion with Spirit, the divine, and the universe. And you'll know exactly where you need to be at all times. There will be no doubt. And it's a practice. You continue to practice every day, because when you get out of balance, bring it back into balance. And that's through the experience. You have to have the experience in order to grow it. And the only way to do that is action creates movement. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Jeremy. That was lovely. Inspirational, educational, and entertaining. Okay, now I have to adjust. See? So we will have our musical interlude, and during this we will have our ushers pass our baskets. And we do thank you in advance for any generosity offered for Colby Temple. Just bow our heads momentarily. Infinite Spirit, we're grateful for the gifts given. We know that all gifts are given to us in this life, that everything given is a gift, and these gifts are especially well received by our church, our Colby Temple, and we thank you. And may these gifts be used for the highest and the best. Amen. Thank you. I have some announcements. Next Wednesday, the message bearer for Demonstration of Spirit service Wednesday evening is Margarita Valerta. And next Sunday, May 29th, Joy Sagar is our speaker. And the Sunday Lyceum, next Sunday, will be Reverend Louis Gates. Our Lyceum is our Sunday school, and we have it here in the temple from 9:30 to 10:15. So it's more educational about spiritualism. Also, to participate in absentee healing, if you have a loved one that you'd like to receive healing from our healers, there is a book in the back on a table, and you can put the name, the first initial, and the initial of the last name of a loved one. And you can put pets also. It's hard to put initials of pets, so you could write Fluffy or Bruno or whatever it is. Okay. So flyers for the camp events are at the back of the temple, and we have activity calendar and a church bulletin in your hymnal, and it looks like this. And so these are all the activities in May. There's a week left. So Today, the workshop is Your Spiritual Healing Toolkit, and that's by Reverend Philip DeLong. And this workshop will explore different aspects of spiritual healing and other tools that have been used for thousands of years. That must include the wheel. Okay, a hands-on experience will also utilize your healing gifts, and the fee for that is $25. So on our website, casadegas.org, we have our monthly information. We have a great calendar. It always says who the speakers are, what the events are, and so that's a very helpful resource. So we will have our next hymn, page 28. If those who you are comfortable standing, please stand. Beautiful Isle of Somewhere. Please be seated. Got it? Yeah. Thank you. I think that the beautiful Isle of Somewhere is here. That's what I think when I was listening to it. Because this is our source, right? And this is where all the beauty and the peace and the joy is. So as we were singing that, I felt that, but I didn't know what gueron meant. Anybody see that word? The gueron? I'm gonna have to look it up. Okay, I would like to introduce our speaker. It would be me. Not actually a speaker, a message bearer. So I'm gonna come down and give messages. I should introduce myself again. I'm Suzanne DeWeese. I do live here in the camp. I am a medium and minister. Could I come to the young woman with blue? Yes. Could I have your name, please? Rachel. Rachel, thank you. I want to say you have a gift of spontaneity. I feel like you really enjoy being a spontaneous person. Good. And I think the other side of that is having to be calculated and, strategize. I think that's the downside, because I think the upside of being a spontaneous person, like you have a free spirit. and it's very easy for you to listen to your guides and to pay attention, sort of in an intuitive way, what really matters. So I feel like you're spontaneous in a way where you really know what your values are. Does that make sense? I also feel you're very tender-hearted, an animal lover, yeah. And I feel like animals give you that reassurance that love is all there is, and you, I feel, are also somewhat telepathic with animals, so you know what they want, and you can give them what they need. So that's quite beautiful. There is a very strong female presence with you, and I feel like she has almost like I wouldn't say like a Joan of Arc kind of an energy. Joan of Arc was a warrior, and she carried a sword, and she went into battle, and she fought for the good, and she fought for the right, right? So I feel like you have a guide with you that helps you determine when you need to stand up for something, and when you need to make your voice heard and make your opinion known. And I think that's very important for you. So it's not really different from being spontaneous, because it's your guide sort of channeling that free spirit into meaningfulness in the world. Does that make sense to you? So I do feel like you have like a really good motivational guide with you, and it's a female, and I feel like she determines by giving you light when you need to stand up for something. And I feel like I'm holding her sword. It's like swords up, and I think that's lovely for you to have that guide in that way. Let me see this. So I want to say you never walk alone. Your guide is very present with you. Your guide has been active with you for a very long time, and I do feel like there's no question about you making wrong choices or finding a situation where you can't decide what to do, because I feel like your guide gives you that light to determine your best. Does that make sense? I like your guide. Woo. Do you know Joan of Arc at all?
A little bit, yeah.
Look into, there's tattoos that say I was born for this, something like that from Joan of Arc. It's to fight the good fight, which is for your values. Good, thank you. Okay, come over here. Could I come to the gentleman in the front striped shirt? That would be you.
Okay.
Could I have your name, please?
James.
James, thank you. Well, you walk your talk, that's certain about you. I feel like you have an immense amount of integrity, and that, your word is your word, and I think there's another saying about that, like your word is your God, or your word is something, sort of like Braveheart. Think of Braveheart on his horse. The word is your, yes, so I feel that's indicative of the way that you live into each moment in your life. There's a book called The Four Agreements, and the first agreement we make with ourselves is to be impeccable with our word. And I feel that's how you are. And I feel like it's a quality, a spiritual characteristic that has served you in many ways. I think there's a little restlessness about you, and that's true for all of us. It just happens I'm talking to you. Sorry. There's just a little restlessness, and I actually feel like it's a spiritual crossroads where you're looking to be yourself in that source that Jeremy referred to, to access that source more easily, to be in that body, mind, spirit alignment more fully, more often. And I feel that that's, when we say, oh, he's a together person, that's body, mind, and spirit alignment. And I feel like that's much, I want to say almost a pursuit to be that together person. And what's beautiful is you have a glimpse that that's already you. It's already you. And it isn't like you have to go anywhere to find that alignment or to be that together person, because I feel like you've seen who you are in your light, in your I am. You know yourself in that way. So for me, what I feel right now is it's a matter of, affirming that, living, that outward manifestation, living into what you know about yourself. And when you forget, like just redetermine, but I know this about myself. I know I have this source energy to bring into the world. So I like your spiritual path very much. I feel your dedication to yourself. It's beautiful to meet you. Thank you. Okay. Would you agree about everything I said about this?
I do agree.
You do, and I see.
And I love your energy, and I love the service was right.
Oh,
So
thank you.
very much.
Jeremy gets that also. Thank you. I know. It's a team, and our pastor, and our healers, and Coquette. It's a good team. And you were nodding your heads, weren't you, about the kindness of your person that you're with? Yeah. Some of the time, when he's aligned, right? When he's aligned, we all fall away from that. Could I come to the woman? She has a black tank and a light sweater, green. Yeah, poke her. Could I come to you, please? Could I have your name? I'm sorry. Mary. Thank you. I'm not sure. Maybe you didn't want to come today. Did they make you come? Okay. It's your first time. Okay. Well, maybe there was just a little resistance, or it's a little, unknown. Certainly, the Spiritualist Church is a little unknown for a first time. So I'm very happy you're here. Welcome, Mary. And I'm glad you have people with you. Good. Well, I feel like you couldn't have come at a better time for your own settling down into yourself. I don't know if there's been much movement, like going from place to place or relocating or something, but I feel like you're settling down, and something about just being here today has been helpful in that way. Does that make sense? Okay. And settling down is a very, it's a skill and a talent, and very often the breath is very, very good, because it's the intermediate step to being at peace with ourselves. And just like when I said, like a little restlessness, I feel like just some breath work, to help this settling down continue, so that whatever the situation is in your life that is new to you, that you just find yourself, same old, same person that you were 4 years old, 12 years old, 20 years old, 50 years old, however old you are. We're always the same. I'm always me. Just my personality goes all through these conundrums, but I'm always me. So when we settle down, then I'm me. I'm just me. And there's so much freedom and peace and settledness just being me. And I think that's part of the reason why you're here today. So I appreciate that about you. I want to work with a man in spirit who I feel is with you, also commending you for being here. You're no scaredy cat, he says. So I feel like he had a very intimate relationship with you, so this would be a close person to you. I feel he wants to take you by the hand and let you know he's here. I feel that's important for him and for you to sort of understand and realize the power of spirit and loved ones being with us. That it's not, we can't even imagine how glorious it is to have our loved ones around us. So I feel like there's just this momentum from him to connect with you. I feel like it could be a J in his name, or 3 syllables. Does that mean anything to you? It does? Okay. I'm going to stop there because if I try and narrow it down, you'll be going, no. Okay, I'm going to stop there with a J. And I feel like he is giving me that for you. I want to message also, okay? The people that are with you, the people that surround you in your life, are your loved ones, your support system. And you can lean on them a little bit more. Lean on them a little bit more. You may be very strong and independent, yeah? So I feel like the encouragement from Jay in spirit, Jay, hello Jay, is to lean on your friends a little more. It's okay to say, I'm feeling a little lost today, or I could really use a hug today. Just a little, little get your needs met, So I just feel that's what's coming in, so that you don't feel like you're alone, either in the physical world or in the spirit world. And I leave that with you as well. Okay. Thank you, Mary. Thank you.
Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
We would like to remind everyone that we have our afternoon message service and snacks that start at 12:30 in the Davis Hall, right at the top of the street. A group of mediums and student mediums will be giving spirit greetings, those are mini messages, as many individuals as they can reach during the hour. We also encourage you to visit our bookstore, which is open from 12 to 5, Monday through Friday, and 10 to 6 on Saturday. And we'd like to thank our live stream viewers for attending our service today, and we look forward to having you attend again. So please rise for our closing.